Why do some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others struggle no matter how hard they work? Have you ever felt like money just slips through your fingers, no matter how much you earn? And what if I told you that your brain, the very tool you rely on to make financial decisions, is actually programmed to keep you broke? Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how your own psychology is sabotaging your financial success, and, most importantly, how to break free from it. The truth is, financial success isn't just about working hard or making the right investments. If it were that simple, every hard-working person would be rich. But that's not the case. Why? Because money isn't just a number in your bank account. It's deeply connected to your emotions, habits, and subconscious programming. Most people are trapped in a financial cycle driven by fear, bad habits, and limiting beliefs they didn't even choose. They've been conditioned by schools, by society, by family, to think in ways that keep them stuck in financial mediocrity. And until they recognize this, they'll keep making the same mistakes over and over again. But here's the good news. Once you understand how your mind is sabotaging you, you can start reprogramming it for wealth. In this video, I'm going to reveal the hidden psychology of money, the real reason you keep struggling financially. I'll expose the mental traps that hold you back and, more importantly, show you how to break free from them. By the time we're done, your mindset about wealth, money, and success will never be the same again. So, if you're ready to take control of your financial future, keep watching, because this might be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. From an early age, we're taught that the key to a successful life is to study hard, get a good job, and secure a steady paycheck. But stop and think. How many people who followed that path actually became wealthy? The harsh truth is that most people never achieve financial freedom. That's because we were programmed to seek security, not wealth. We were taught to work for money, not how to make money work for us. And that's the first major flaw in the scarcity mindset. School teaches us how to be good employees, how to follow rules, how to avoid risk. But you know what it doesn't teach us? How to build assets, how to invest, how to create businesses. From an early age, traditional education conditions us to seek a fixed salary rather than create multiple income streams. And even worse, we grow up believing that wealth is only for the lucky or those born into rich families. But the truth is, anyone can build wealth if they learn to think like the rich. The system was designed to keep us in an illusion of comfort. Government, schools, and the media repeat the same narrative. Study hard, get a job, work your way up, and one day you'll retire safely. But no one talks about inflation eating away at your money. No one teaches you that saving in a bank account won't make you rich. And no one tells you that real millionaires use other people's money to build empires, while the majority drowns in bad debt. And speaking of debt, let's talk about the trap that millions of people fall into every single day, the infamous rat race. Have you ever noticed how the cycle repeats itself? You work hard to make money. That money pays your bills. But then, new expenses appear. A bigger house, a new car, credit card purchases. You need a raise to maintain your lifestyle, so you work even harder. And the cycle never ends. You're running, but never actually getting anywhere. Do you know why this happens? Because most people don't have assets, only liabilities. They believe that owning a home is an investment, but forget that they have to pay for it every month. They think a new car is a sign of success, but in reality, it only loses value over time. Meanwhile, the rich invest in assets that generate money for them. Businesses, rental properties, stocks, and smart investments. That's the difference between those who work for money and those who make money work for them. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. What were you taught about money when you were a child? Were you told to study hard and get a secure job? Or were you taught how to build wealth? If you're like most people, the answer is obvious. And this unconscious programming could still be holding you back today. But here's what you need to understand. It's not your fault. You were taught to think this way. The system wants you to be a loyal worker, to pay your taxes, to consume. But now that you know this, you can start reversing that mindset. You can break free from the rat race, learn to play the game the rich play, and build a financial future that doesn't depend on a boss, a government, or a fragile retirement plan. So tell me, were you taught to seek financial security or to create wealth? The answer to that question might be the first step toward your financial freedom. If there's one thing that separates the rich from the poor, it's not just the balance in their bank accounts, it's how they think about money. Many people spend their entire lives trapped by beliefs that sabotage them without even realizing it. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 biggest enemies of your wealth, the ones that keep most people stuck in the rat race while the rich continue to thrive. And at the end of this, I want you to tell me, which of these traps is holding you back? The first major wealth killer is the fear of failure. If there's one thing that sets apart the mindset of the poor from the mindset of the rich, it's how they deal with mistakes. Most people are terrified of failing. They avoid risks, always choose the safest path, and would rather not try than risk losing. But the rich think differently. To them, failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of learning. They understand that every mistake carries a valuable lesson and that no one builds wealth without taking calculated risks. I learned this early on, and it wasn't in school. In fact, it was through my failures that I learned more about money than in any classroom. I failed in business. I lost money in investments. I made mistakes that cost me dearly. But do you know what I did? I kept going. Every failure taught me something that no book could, and that's the secret of the wealthy. They're not afraid to lose because they know that's how you win. The second major wealth killer is the love for a steady paycheck. This is one of the biggest traps for anyone who wants financial freedom. Most people are taught to chase stability, a secure job, a fixed salary at the end of the month. But that comfort comes at a cost, your freedom. When you rely on a paycheck, your income is limited to what your boss decides to pay you. You trade time for money, and time is the one resource you can never get back. The rich do things differently. Instead of depending on a single paycheck, they create multiple streams of income. They invest in assets, build businesses, and generate money without having to be physically present. I did this when I started investing in real estate and building assets that generated passive income. While my friends were still stuck in jobs that barely paid the bills, I was already on my way to financial freedom. And the third major wealth killer is the belief that money is dirty or hard to get. This is one of the biggest lies society teaches us. How many times have you heard phrases like, "Money doesn't buy happiness," "Rich people must have cheated to get there," or "Only the lucky ones get wealthy"? This kind of thinking keeps people poor because it creates a psychological barrier against wealth. The rich don't see money as something dirty or unattainable. They understand that money is a tool, a game that needs to be learned. They master investments, assets, and leverage. I learned this early on from my rich dad, who taught me that money works for those who know how to use it. And that's how I went from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Now I want you to think about this. Which of these 3 traps is holding you back? Are you afraid of failure? Are you dependent on a paycheck? Or do you believe that making money is too hard? Drop a comment below and tell me which one is stopping you from building the wealth you deserve. If you truly want to change your financial life, you need to start at the root of the problem, your mindset. Most people spend their entire lives working for money, but the rich do the opposite. They make money work for them. This is the investor's mindset. While most people spend what they earn and then try to save whatever is left, the rich do the opposite. They invest first and then live on what's left. They understand that every dollar should be put to work, whether in business, investments, or any asset that generates more money in the future. And speaking of assets, this is one of the most important concepts you need to understand. Money doesn't multiply by sitting in a bank, let alone by spending it on things that drain your capital. The rich invest in assets, while the poor accumulate liabilities. And the difference between the two is simple. Assets put money in your pocket, while liabilities take it out. A financed house, a brand new car, monthly payments on consumer goods, it all looks like success, but in reality, they're liabilities draining your wealth. Want an example? A home that you live in might seem like an investment, but if it only generates expenses and property taxes, it's not making you richer. Now, a rental property that covers its own expenses and still generates profit, that's a real asset. But what if you don't have enough money to invest? The rich figured this out a long time ago. They use other people's money to build wealth. This is called leverage. While the poor believe they need to save every penny before they can afford something, the rich understand that there are strategies to multiply wealth without having all the capital up front. They use smart financing, partnerships, investors, and even the banking system to grow their money. That's one of the biggest differences between those who work for money and those who understand how the game is really played. That's how I changed my life. I grew up hearing my poor dad tell me to study hard and get a secure job, but my rich dad taught me something completely different. The secret to wealth isn't working harder. It's thinking like an investor. Instead of chasing security, I started chasing assets. Instead of working for others, I started building businesses. And little by little, I shifted from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Today I can say with certainty, wealth isn't about luck. It's about knowledge and action. Now, if you want to know exactly how to apply this in real life, stay with me until the end of this video. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the first steps to building wealth and escaping the rat race for good. If you want to change your financial life, you have to change your mindset first. Today, we talked about how most people have been programmed to stay stuck in the rat race, always working for money instead of making money work for them. We covered the 3 biggest wealth killers, the difference between assets and liabilities, and how the rich use leverage to multiply their wealth. If you understand this, you're already one step ahead of most people, but knowledge without action is worthless. So now I want to challenge you. Take a look at your own life and identify which of these wealth killers is holding you back. Is it fear of failure, dependence on a paycheck, or the belief that making money is too hard? Choose one and start working on it today. Small changes in how you think and act can completely transform your financial future. And I want to hear from you. What was the biggest insight you got from this video? Drop a comment below and tell me what made you reflect the most. And if this content made sense to you, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Here, you'll learn how the rich think and take action to build real wealth. So go ahead, click the subscribe button, and let's start this journey toward financial freedom together.